Welcome back to One Mic Media. And we are here today to discuss Power Book 4 Season 2 finale. So, of course, since it was the finale, we got a lot to talk about. Want to get the panel's opinions and thoughts on the finale episode, as well as what they think about moving forward for the following season. I cannot do this, though, without my usual team. Let's bring in number one, who's been here since day one, my girl, Michelle. What's going on, Michelle?
Hey, Mike.
Hey. And of course, the newest member of the team to bring us her thoughts and opinions, even though she's an Eagles fan, but still got to bring her on. What's going on, Steph?
Hey, go Eagles. Oh, I'm sorry. This Power. This not Eagles.
Yeah, right. Hey.
We go. Right.
But the good thing is we're taking a break after this episode, but we'll be back for Power Book 3, which is December 1st. So that should be cool too. A nice couple weeks off and whatnot. But I'm happy that not a long time before Book 3 comes out, which is dope. But Power Book 4, season finale. And before we get into it, because we'll talk about the episode, but I'm going to start with Michelle, because you left something on the line, you were disappointed. So what's up? What was your overall view of the episode? Like, why was you disappointed?
It was too many loose ends. Like, they left us with cliffhangers on every single point. And to me, they should have let us have some enjoyment in the season finale. Vic getting killed, Claudia getting killed, like somebody died, but we didn't get that.
And Steph, you said before the show you didn't like it. So what didn't you like about it? Why didn't you like it?
Just like Michelle said, it's too many loose ends. Like, and you know how Power does. A year later, the next season will come out, and the way that they left it, it's like it's just too many loose ends. It's too many things that we got to remember. So.
Okay. Yeah. I got you. They gotta remember. Okay. Well, it starts after last week. We saw Tommy following Vic to find out he was a snitch and stuff like that. And he starts with him telling Diamond. Now, I wasn't sure if he was going to tell Diamond or not, but he did right away. And Diamond said, I told you it was Vic, but you was all following Jannard. Told you it was Vic, blah, blah, blah. What you going to do about it? Tommy says, I got a plan. Diamond want to take him out right away. And also they're talking about their, issue with the Serbs and Miguel. So how you felt about Tommy? Let's start with Michelle. How you felt about last week's episode? First of all, you weren't here. And the whole Vic, coming out, and then Tommy telling Diamond about Vic being a snitch.
So the best part of last week's episode for me was the end, when Tommy found out that Vic was the CI.
Right.
Fast forward into this episode, I'm glad that it opened up with Tommy telling Diamond that it was Vic that is the snitch. Diamond has real concerns, because like you said, I can go back to jail, and this time for good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And he was right. You've been looking at my brother Jannard this whole time without seeing the one operating under your nose. Mm-hmm. So point taken, right? Mm-hmm. But I guess I did like how they opened up the episode with
that. Steph, how you felt about that?
I liked it too. I mean, he did have to kind of be honest with him. At first, I didn't think he was going to, but I like that he was honest with him about it. And yeah, that is funny. Like, Tommy's been in this game since he was a teenager, and he should have been able to sniff out the fact that somebody was a snitch right in front of him, like directly in front of him. Mm-hmm. So
and you would have thought, because I think it was episode either 1 or 2 episodes ago where Tommy and Vic were outside the car, and he was like, "They watching me," and little do they know I'm watching them too. So you would have thought that kind of would have started the pattern in his mind that Vic was the CI, but I guess it didn't. On top of the killing of Vargas. So it's like Tommy didn't put all those pieces together until it was actually revealed to him.
And then remember the wire being inside of the car. He should have got it then too.
Right. Honestly, he was looking at the black man.
I hate to say it, but
it's fact though. It's fact. Because not only that, Vic was riding around with him every day, so he was real close to him and stuff like that.
Right.
So it was kind of interesting. That's why I don't know if they was getting close by riding around every day. That's why I'm like, maybe they kind of blinded Tommy. That's the only thing I could think about the whole thing, but I'm not sure. But Anyway, though, after we see Maria, in the hospital with her Barcelona tickets, we get to Diamond, and we get to Tommy meeting up with Vic at a secluded location. All of a sudden, Diamond pops up on him too, and let him know that that we appreciate you giving us the Flint territory. Basically, couldn't do it without you. We got one more thing to do. We need you to be there, and they both kind of make him feel like he's secure in the situation, even though we know what they really know. So, Steph, this time, how you felt about that scene with Diamond, Tommy, and Vic over there?
I felt like this whole thing was kind of drawn out. And it still is getting drawn out. I just want I want to know what they're about to do to him. Don't just drag it out. So I thought it was unnecessary. I felt like it could have been other scenes that they could have showed. I would have liked the to see who saw D-Mac kill the other little boy. I would have liked that, but this, I don't know, it kind of just felt like it was unnecessary. I get they were trying to show that they were a team and that they were plotting on them, but I kind of thought it was an unnecessary scene.
Okay, I'm going to say my thoughts after. Michelle, how you felt about it?
I honestly, in that scene, I knew from that point on that it wasn't going to reveal to Vic that they knew or was on to him. So I knew, like I said, from that scene that we were going to see how they were going to play the game with him for the rest of the episode. At that point, I knew he wasn't going to die in this episode, which kind of pissed me off.
Really? At that point, you knew?
Yeah, I knew.
Okay.
I knew. Because Tommy is malicious and vindictive, right? Mm-hmm. So he also knows that there's more at stake than just Vic. So he played the lawman's game and gave the FBI or Stacy. He gave Stacy exactly what she wanted, which was the address. Mm-hmm. So Tommy played his cards well in that sense. They showed force with him and Diamond up on that rooftop with Vic. But like I said, at that point, I knew they wasn't going to do nothing to him in this episode.
Okay.
What's your point?
I was going to say, damn it. I lost it. I thought they should have, to Stephanie's point, at that point, it would have been dope if they both, kind of questioned him about it and then took him out right there. I feel like they are dragging it out a little bit. Because they
I
are
would have
up there
liked
with...
I would have liked that early in the episode. If they'd have drugged that out later on, then I would have liked that.
Yeah, and then
he can't die just yet because they know that he's a CI. So if he's a CI, that means eyes are on them. So if he dies now, they'll never give them the chance to actually become the main distributor for Chad because the FBI is gonna know that they killed him. So
they can't. They ain't gonna know. They can't. They gotta know. They gotta be able to prove it. They can know what they want to, stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? Now my thing is moving forward. Well, we'll get back to Vic later because Vic's still, like you said, Vic's still alive. But we'll get back to Vic. But Tommy does. Tommy don't like this episode, so he rolls up on Shanti. He already in her gym or whatever. Lights off, just chilling. You know what I mean? Breaking and entering, and still wants her to kind of move how she moving, but says you still got to play the role, even though she's ready to just like stop playing the role with Claudia. And we start seeing more of their dynamic with Tommy and Shanti. And obviously, it's going to continue as well. And I told y'all she wasn't going to die this season. But, Michelle, how you feeling about... You didn't never like her from the beginning, but how you feeling about Shanti now and Tommy and Shanti?
She has a questionable loyalty to me.
Okay.
Of course, she's loyal to Jannard, but you see, she doesn't really... I got another touchdown. She doesn't really fall too far from grace with Tommy. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think she was going to die this season. I honestly didn't think she was going to die. But I did think there was going to be some type of feuding between her and Claudia more than what it was.
Okay.
So
how you feel about how Tommy using her and stuff like that?
I mean, it's smart.
Yeah.
It's smart. It's going to end up blowing him in the face towards the end of the episode. Right. But it's smart.
Okay. Steph, how you feeling about Tommy and Shanti and him trying to get the info for the meet and all that stuff?
I question her loyalty too because she's not even telling Jannard what's going on with Tommy. So yeah, I just question her loyalty. I kind of figured she wasn't going to die, and since you talking about, oh, well, I told y'all she wasn't going to die. Well, I told you she was working with Tommy, and y'all didn't believe me. See, Michelle, I was all by myself last week. They talking about, no, they didn't do that on purpose. They really do got beef. No, they don't. They just playing.
Yeah. Because remember when she was where was she? Did she come to Tommy's apartment? But he was like, for now,
he hasn't been to Tommy's apartment.
Right.
But
he was like, from now on, I need it to look like we're enemies in the streets.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you working in the background, feeding me information and doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but like I said, her loyalty is questionable.
I think she's like kind of like Claudia after Power a lot herself. So she might step on anybody to get it, including Gennard down the line. So I don't know. Speaking of Gennard, though, segue, we see him in the barbershop getting nothing cut. I don't know what he's even in there for, but
Your little beard.
That's it, I guess. I don't know. But
I was like, maybe they go put some Beijing in there.
I was like, could they work on that shit?
Yeah, and Diamond like doing nothing. He's just like, all right. But we see him up in there. But what we do see is Diamond feeding Gennard a lot of information about Tommy and his moves throughout the whole time and stuff like that. And I don't know if he kind of let his guard down because his brother getting closer again and stuff like that. But, you know, he's talking about, you know, getting fresh for Shanti and Diamond feeding him information and, you know, how things going to move forward. Now, of course, Gennard trying to say, do you need Tommy? And Diamond saying, well, he did put it all together and stuff like that. So, start with Stephanie. So, how you feel about this barbershop scene with Gennard and Diamond?
Yeah, he want to have a relationship with his brother, but his brother is still, he's shady. So I wish he hadn't gave him so much information because I don't think he realizes that his brother is not as loyal to him as he thinks he is. So that's going to backfire, and I'm feeling bad because he's really trying to trust his brother.
Michelle, how you feeling about that?
I 100% agree on that because when you look at the dynamic between Gennard and Shanti, they want to be at the top of CBI, right? Which means the removal of Diamond. So if you take that into consideration, Diamond is feeding Gennard all this newfound information, stuff that he didn't know, stuff that was just between Diamond and Tommy this whole time. So it's like, all right, what is Gennard going to do with this information now? Is he going to backstab Diamond? You know, next season, is he going to continue to play the part that he's playing? Ultimately, he wants to be equals with Diamond. And of course, as we've already known, he wants to kill Tommy or get rid of Tommy. The thing is, like Diamond said, none of this would have been in motion if it wasn't for Tommy. They was just, you know, corner boys, CBI. That was it. But now they are literally in the plans to take over the entire city of Chicago because of Tommy's vision. Gennard has, just like Shanti, questionable loyalty.
Okay, I like that. I like that thought. We also see, by the way, that Diamond, you know, it's been some time now, but he still wants to kill the kid who killed Leon and tells Gennard, no, he got to go. Now, we see what happens later on, but are y'all surprised Diamond still want to kill the kid, even after the sound effect?
No.
Because he did say
mother's good graces.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think he really had a genuine relationship with the little boy. With Leon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Leon, yeah, he did say age don't matter till about killing the kid. That's what Diamond said, so, you know.
I mean, like we've seen Diamond in these last 2 episodes, right? He's a man that did 15 inside. He's still the leader of a street gang. Yeah. So he's presenting as this cleaned up, stand-up guy who had a whole past. Right. All while still living in the game. Yeah. So he understands street code. Like, you took out an innocent kid. You got to go. And just like he reminded Gennard was like, oh, but he only 16. Oh, we were 16 in the game.
Yeah.
Age don't matter.
Yeah.
So Diamond, not to say that he wants revenge, but he wants to see that, you know, that kid get murdered.
Yeah. And I think like Stephanie, it was personal for him too, as well. So it's a lot with the whole situation. Next, we see your girl Stacy in the episode. And Stacy is with Vic and her husband, the detective. And Vic is shooting information like, look, they got a meet coming up with the cartel, blah, 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 blah. She's saying, we need an address from you. he's saying, you're always moving the goalposts, stuff like that. And finally, he says, once you get us his address and we arrest Tommy, you good. We'll put you in WITSEC. And I guess that made Vic feel good about that. So I think we're on step. No, Michelle, how you feel about the conversation with Vic Stacy and her husband, detective?
So like Vic he keeps saying, you keep moving the goalposts, right? So you keep trying to squeeze him for more and more information, which put him at more risk of being exposed by Tommy and Diamond. Mm-hmm. Stacy is one track minded.
Yes.
But we see that her pattern is she wants what she wants, which is Tommy Egan. Mm-hmm. And because she's not focused on the entire flow of organization, she's getting her own man killed. Yeah. Her husband is like, listen, stop. Like, it's a broader spectrum than just Tommy Egan. We need to look at it all. But because she's one track minded, like I said, she's getting her people killed.
Yeah.
All while trying to use Vic as a pawn to get information. So she's getting the information. She's not getting all of the information, which is putting them at risk of getting hurt.
Okay, Steph, how you feel about that conversation with those three?
Come here.
I feel like she's going to risk her relationship and then risk the trust of the people who she's supposed to be oversee or managing. Because she's just pushing too much. She only sees her future as far as like politics and things like that. She doesn't you're not there yet. So focus on the things that are happening right now. And her husband is trying to pull her in, but she's just not listening. So I mean, it's you don't really hear women talk about like egos as much as you do men, but this is clearly somebody who's just ruled by her ego and trying to prove herself in a man's world. So she needs to protect herself.
I agree 100%, and Vic is right. They're moving the goalposts for episodes now on him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I guess he nothing he can do about it. But he's definitely right. But speaking of Vic, he did do something smart this episode to me when he pulled Claudia into the house, into their dad's house, which Vic got now. And he gave her this whole story about he don't want her no more. He leaving, which is actually true. He don't want her no more. He leaving. However, he said I'm gonna leave it to you. But all it is the truth. Did you try to get me killed? And also the night that you killed our dad and stuff like that. And because she's so greedy and want everything, she admits to it finally. And he walks away. But little does she know, he's recording on the phone. So how you felt about this scene with Vic and Claudia, Stephanie?
I don't know. I'm kind of confused about why she was crying. Was she crying because she's losing her brother? Or is she crying because I finally got what I want? And I feel like it's the latter.
Okay.
She don't care about her brother. She don't care at all. I was hoping that she would. But yeah, Vic was really smart with that. Recording that. And I kind of felt like it was a setup because when he said, oh, well, you got our father killed. And I'm like, Vic, you was in on it too. What are you talking about? Wait a minute. This might be a setup. So, yeah, I kind of figured after he said that it was a setup.
Okay.
But she fell right into it.
Michelle, how you felt about that trap Vic set for her?
So, full transparency, I was high as shit watching that episode.
Okay.
And I cried. Because I saw it two ways, right?
Stephanie all hard over here.
I was like, oh, because
her part. That's how she. Oh. Her brother,
So I saw it twofold, right?
Right.
These last two seasons, Claudia has, just like Stacy, one track mind. Mm-hmm. Claudia wanted the power that was never given to her because she is a woman. Mm-hmm. So now that she's thinking Vic is out the picture, she has it, but I don't think that deep down inside she really wanted him to die or get rid of him. I think in that moment when she made the decision to up the time for the Irish, assassins, right?
Yeah.
For the assassins to invade the dad's house, I don't think she was thinking, oh, I want to lose my brother. She just wanted to have 100% of the power. Mm-hmm. So in this sense, it's like, all right, my brother is now telling me that I have it, it's fully mine, but now I'm losing my brother even though he's still alive. So I think that's why she was crying.
Okay.
But
I don't think
does
so.
it?
She
I
didn't
mean,
care
it's
about
like it's like tears in a bucket. Does
It's
it really
not.
matter now? No.
I think it
It
was
doesn't.
both though, Stephanie. I think it was, you know.
It's like I said, it's tears in a bucket because now it's like, all right, I see how you really feel, but the point of the matter is, if they were successful that night, I would not be here to have this conversation with you.
Right, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So Vic could only feel one kind of way. Honestly, I was surprised to see that it was a scheme for him to get some type of recording because that was never a part of the 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 legal opportunity for him. It was all about what Tommy is doing. So the fact that he got her to confess on tape that she was the mastermind between getting her father killed and the attempt on his life, he took that and ran with it as an opportunity to record it and then provide it to Stacey and them.
But I think that was personal. I think he wanted to get her
Yeah.
locked up.
And if you
Yeah.
remember, the main reason why he actually went to Stacey is because he wanted to get his sister. But Stacey flipped it and was like, "No, we don't care about your sister.
Right.
We want Tommy."
Right.
So in his head, I mean, in her head, that's what she wanted all along. I mean, that's what he wanted all along. I mean,
Right. So I feel like he felt like if I'm going to leave or whatever, I'm taking her down first before I go to Woodside and stuff like that. So that's what I feel like, and it worked. But we'll get to that later on. But we get to Tommy and he go to visit the house. Kate is back. He didn't know she was back. She's been back, but Tommy didn't know she'd been back. And you know he's talking to her about going back and forth, leaving JP. And she says, "Well, I had to leave. You didn't tell me you sent my grandson away." So now Tommy knows, and that D-Mac's back in town, and he kind of telling her she make everything worse and just stay away. So, Steph, how you feel about Tommy and Kate in the scene right here, at least?
their relationship is so toxic and it's scary. It is so scary. But they love each other. It kind of reminds me of me and my son. Like we'll go at it, but then don't let nobody say nothing to me. He be like, "What?" So, I don't know. I feel like, wait, is that the scene where she does kind of tell him that he broke out?
Yeah, the D-Mac's home.
Or
Yeah, he back to
oh, okay. Yeah, and this is exactly why he didn't want to tell her from the beginning because she knew he was gonna kind of mess up and do something silly. But I don't know, their relationship, they really need some counseling and some therapy because it's a lot of stuff going on with their relationship. It's crazy.
We'll get to more of that later on in episode 2, yeah. Which is crazy. But Michelle, this first scene when she reveals to Tommy that D-Mac is back, and that, you know, that's the reason why she left and stuff like that. How you felt about that with her and Tommy?
So to your point, Stephanie, I don't think there's any repair for them. I don't think counseling would work in their dynamic. When you saw Kate initially present the information to Tommy, like, yeah, I knew that I know he's still alive, and you sent him to that boarding school. Little do you know he broke out. It's almost like she felt like she had something over Tommy, right? And then when he revealed the truth that D-Mac killed a cop, she was like, "Oh no, this is bad." You know what I'm saying? And I mean, not that we haven't seen the true dynamic of their relationship from the original series to now, but it's like Tommy is right. Everything she touches crumbles. But she said, "Well, if we play the blame game, the same thing is for you too."
Yeah.
You know?
That's true too.
That's true
Right.
too.
Right. So in that sense, it's like you hate to see it because it's a mother and son, and you know that deep down, like if you go back to the ice cream episode, right? Deep down, they have a natural mother-son connection and relationship, but because it's so toxic, it can't be repaired. And now you have new players like D-Mac and JP who are just now seeing who Kate is, where Tommy is like, "I was raised by this broad, and y'all just getting a taste of this shit that I've been through," you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it was an interesting scene to watch.
Yeah, but also, and I'll get to JP later on, but also at the same time, Tommy can't expect them to feel how he feels because they weren't there. So we all know the lady that we were raised by. We know the Kate we got now. So I feel like that they gonna have a better relationship because they haven't had all the years that Tommy went through, especially D Mac.
D Mac so much doesn't count to me because he's an irresponsible teenager.
That's true,
right?
Yeah.
But JP is the adult here, and I think in the last couple episodes, with her running back to New York, coming back, drinking bottles of alcohol, using drugs, he's seeing all of what Tommy has explained to him.
You know? Yeah, but that's their fault. They the ones told him the boy was dead. They made him start getting high again and stuff like that.
To protect D Mac though. So Kate's own behavior is the result of her own doings.
I don't agree with that because she's a natural. Yeah, I don't agree with that either because she isn't.
Addict, sure.
Correct. That's the point. Right.
But if she would have known that D Mac was alive this whole time and that he killed a cop, do you not think that information would have been leaked out prior to now?
They ain't had to tell him to kill the cop. They could have said, "We think the school is better for him." They could have they let her think he was dead. That I think was wild to me. I'm sorry. I think that drove her back to the drink.
But they had to, because what would Kate have done?
She can't find him.
Visit him. She would have gave it away. She might have had somebody try to follow her to go visit him, and she would have said something.
She might have, I guess.
Yeah, because her only job the night that it all happened was to keep him in the house.
But also, but even with that, they give all the information. They ain't told no information. They said keep in the house
and get some condoms for yourself.
Listen. I know how my grandma is. If my mom was keep him in the house, but they tell her why, she's gonna be go to the store for yourself. I don't know why your mom acting crazy. You gotta give more information about why he gotta stay in the house, stuff like that. You could have said, well, listen, he did something crazy in the street. We want to go outside right now. You gotta. I don't know. I feel
No, you're right. Because I know if I told my son to stay in the house and my mama found out, my mama would be like, go ahead and take your car, go to the store room.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I know she would.
Especially if you want to tell her why he got to stay in the house.
She don't care. Just hurry back and come back. Just hurry back.
That's what I'm saying. But speaking of D-Mac, actually I want to skip a scene here, but we get real quick. We get Miguel with his one of his. I don't even know the guy's name. Don't really matter his name after this episode. But he does talk to him about Abuelita. He's still mourning over the grandmother, Miguel, obviously. And the guy said, she always wanted. She didn't like Tommy in the first place, so that makes Miguel say, okay, we're gonna definitely kill him, regardless of what happens at this time. So. Yes, how you feeling about Miguel at this point? But we weren't here last week talking to you about Grandma getting killed, Michelle. How you feeling about Miguel and what's going on with him right now?
So Miguel hosts intricate dynamic for me, right? Because it looks like he's a man of code and a man of honor.
Right.
So Abuelita put it in his. I'm saying it right. Abuelita, right?
Yeah, that's Abuelita. You good?
Grandma, right?
Yeah, grandma. Yeah.
So Nana,
not Nana.
Nana put it in his head that Tommy was coming for him, and just like everyone else, he wants Tommy out the picture. So, like I said, at the end of that particular that clip, he said the only way to honor her death is to kill Tommy. And I love how everybody says Tommy fucking Egan. Nobody says Tommy Egan. It's right. Tommy fucking Egan.
On social media, that's what they said this episode should have been called, Tommy effing Egan. Because everybody was
Tommy fucking Egan. But I don't know. Miguel is interested in me.
Okay, this scene right here, Steph, how you feeling about Miguel and him in his mourning state, I guess, still at that point?
So wait, he started off saying that the Serbs are the reason why his grandmother is not alive. Okay?
Right.
Then he goes and says, I'm going to kill Tommy Egan. I don't get it. I really want to talk to the writers about this whole episode. I really wish I had it out to talk, to reason with them, because this didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
You're trying to avenge the death of your grandmother. Tommy didn't have nothing to do with it, but because you mad at him still, you gonna kill Tommy.
So maybe it's like this. It's like displaced anger though. Like he know it wasn't him, but he putting it on Tommy, stuff like that.
Because
But
Tommy's a bigger. I mean, even though the Serbs had
the Serbs is a bigger. You just killed his grandmama. It just killed his grandmama. You know, a big mama in your house. You know you gonna ride or die with her. Don't play, because my big mama is in the other room. And let somebody hurt that little lady. See what happens.
Okay.
Point taken and understood.
We on live. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. No, I would never kill no.
That's hilarious. If something happened to grandma, something happened with somebody else, then we got this evidence right here.
Furniture moving is gonna be some furniture.
But you know, looking at the goalpost, right? Everyone's goalpost is Tommy fucking Egan. So even though, like Miguel said, the Serbs did this, I never reacted. The Serbs did that, I never touched them. And now they took out his own bloodline, his abuelita. Yeah. But abuelita warned him that Tommy is coming for him. So the Serbs are not as a major player as they were because Che shut them down, right? But even though they now migrated with the Marquez cartel, right?
Yeah.
So he's still thinking, all right, Tommy's coming for me, and we saw at the end of the episode what point he plays towards Tommy.
We also he also said that, you know, the guy that did kill Abuelita was a part of his own crew, and she also warned him about him, and he didn't kind of take heed to that at all. I don't know if he was not focused because of Tommy, but he the same guy that wants. So she was knowing, like she was on it and stuff like that. So I'm sure he's gonna miss her guidance as well. But I do feel like
with that statement, right? Is he his own undoing?
Yeah, I feel like it is. I mean, I feel like a little bit because, you know, he first of all he ain't even paying attention what's happening to his own crew, but she also warned him about the exact guy who wound up killing her, stuff like that. So I think maybe he was kind of brushing her off because she old sometimes too. I don't know, but I felt like she knew what she was talking about.
So would you say that there's a unanimous theme when it comes to everything else happening and everyone just focusing on Tommy?
Yes.
Because they're missing the other points that's operating around them because they're so sidetracked by just wanting Tommy.
I agree. 100%. Yeah. Let's move on though. D-Mac. D-Mac is with Marshall. It's at Marshall's house. Wait, what happened? What you say?
Sorry, Michelle. I saw the rolling of the eyes.
Because I do not like D-Mac at all.
No. Oh, that's why you rolled that.
So
yeah, he getting on my nerves.
He's at
and JP, like father, like son. They both get on my nerves.
So he at Marshall house still. I guess Marshall got his own crib because D-Mac always there playing the game and whatever. But he like you still, but Marshall like you still here? Like when you go home? So Marshall getting tired of D-Mac too, and he like waiting on JP to talk to Tommy. He ain't do it yet. Blah blah blah. He lying. He a coward. He's in the third. Anyway, Marshall telling him how good CBI is doing. D-Mac want to get back in. Marshall give D-Mac the gun, but Marshall also tells him that they're trying to take out the boy who killed Leon. D-Mac said, all right, I'll take care of that for Diamond. That'll get me back in. Because last time I took care of that cop for Tommy that Tommy want to hear it, but Diamond probably will let me back in. So how you felt about this? I think I'm on Stephanie. The whole D-Mac and Marshall scene, and D-Mac now saying he'll kill the kid for Diamond and stuff like that. So
I think D-Mac is the new Tariq from the original Ghost. I want to take my belt off so bad and beat him because he was getting on my nerves. I mean, I get I'm kind of happy that he's eager to complete a goal and a task. Like he's a go-getter. I get it, but the way he's going about it is a little bit backwards. So he just needs to go. he really needs to go, or somebody needs to hide him again. Maybe he needs to go back to New York with his grandmom, and maybe he need to hang out with Tariq or something. I don't know, but he just needs to go.
All right, Michelle, how you feel about D-Mac and him deciding to take out the kid for Diamond to get back in CBI after Marshall gave him the gun and stuff like that?
So I feel like Marshall set that shit up. Right?
Oh, okay.
That's how I feel. Marshall set it up. So, but to that point, D-Mac is so hot-headed.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's gonna be his own undoing. Honestly, I want to put money on it. Season 3, episode 2, he's dead. Straight up.
Okay.
Straight up. By episode 2, he is dead because he's smart book-wise, right? He knows numbers. But he's not smart in the sense that you just did an unsanctioned killing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's not street smart.
He's not street smart. Even though he think he is, he's not.
Let me ask you this. When he was talking to Marshall about it and said, okay, I'm going to do this for Diamond, did y'all think he was going to actually go kill the kid? Or he actually did what I'm doing, obviously.
I know he was.
I thought he was.
I absolutely know he was.
That's how eager he is to get back into CBI.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay. And I want to go back to what you said, Michelle, about Marshall. You think Marshall like set him up to take the fall? What you thinking about Marshall?
Not so much take the fall, but it's like, what was the point of that? What was the point of you telling him? What was the point of you giving him the gun? And then what was the point of you telling him don't do nothing? Like, I just don't. I don't. If you want to mark that scene as unnecessary, sure. But I don't understand what Marshall's ploy in that was.
Interesting. Okay.
Because he fed him the information, knowing how D-Mac is.
Yeah.
And by him being, like I said, being so eager to be reclaimed by CBI, he figured, all right, if I take this body out for Diamond, Diamond's going to accept me back. Little to his, surprise, Diamond's like, well, you'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll see about that. So I'm gonna do the same thing that Steph probably did and skip over the sex scene with Claudia and her girlfriend or whatnot, and I'm move on.
Tell you about it.
I know what I'm saying. I'm doing the same thing she did.
You ever watched the making of Milk?
To believe that.
You ever watched the making of Milk?
No.
You don't.
I haven't.
That's all that sex scene was. It was the milk separated from the cheese, and I was like,
yeah.
Wow.
I thought she was talking about the movie. I'm like, what that got to do with this? Well, they are, lesbian and gay people in it. Okay. But, I didn't.
It didn't bother me so much as in, if it was a battered chick, sure. But I just can't. First of all, it's Claudia, for one. And then the girlfriend is just not.
The girlfriend's horrible, like, looking-wise. Yeah.
Horrible acting, horrible looking-wise. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know where they got her from. They got anybody for that, I feel like. Like, I don't know. But
I honestly would take more satisfaction in seeing Claudia and Shanti than Claudia and that other chick.
Okay.
Oh, you think Shanti cute? Her lower lip get on my nerves. Always sticking out. It's always out.
It is. It is.
It's always just like she got an underbite.
That's hilarious. Crack it up. She do. Moving forward, we get Tommy and Maria also waking up in bed, and she's telling him how, like, she love him now, and he believes her more than her family ever did, and all this other stuff. Next thing you know, door knocks on the door. It's Kate pulling up. And then it's meeting Maria. She's telling Maria to run, basically, like about Tommy Pat. Maria said, I know all about Lakeisha Grant. I ain't scared. I know what's going on. I grew up in this life. And she dips and stuff like that. And then, Kate's like, listen, these girls you get with, they don't end well. You know what I mean? But, we'll see. But then Tommy kind of brushes her off and gives her some drugs as they leave. So, Michelle, you felt about that scene right there.
Actually, I was happy to see that scene.
Okay.
Because Tommy is all up in Maria's world, right? Which is Miguel and how his whole family operates.
Mm-hmm.
But now Maria gets to see just a little inkling of Tommy's world, which is his mother, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Kate stormed in there and tried to say, "Oh, honey, it's not going to end well for you," and Maria's like, "I'm from the hood. I'm from the life. I'm from the streets. All of what Tommy got going on does not bother me."
Mm-hmm.
But it was almost as if it was an omen. Okay, Holly dead, Keisha dead,
Mm-hmm.
Maria missing.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it was almost like it was a foreshadowing event for their breakup. Well, not breakup, but their separation in a sense.
Mm. Go ahead, Steph. How you feel about that scene?
I like that she stood up to Kate.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why this tickled me so much. When they were trying to explain who Maria was, and Kate was like, "You effing a nurse?" It cracked me up. Like,
Yeah,
you didn't care about nothing that he said. Like, you effing a nurse. So I'm glad that she stood up to her. And I think that if they still stay together, if she somehow gets out of her brother's hold, I guess, I think she's going to be the one that's going to be able to stand up to to Kate. So I think it's kind of good, but we'll see.
For me, like, I honestly, like, I still don't believe their love story. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I believe him and Holly. I believe him and Lakeisha. For her, I don't know if it's too fast or if it's something, but I don't feel it like I did other couples and stuff like that.
Why not?
Did you believe when he strangled Holly? That's what you believe that he really
Yes,
was in love with her?
that's the love, yeah, because he had a hard time. But let me tell you something. He loved Holly, but he loved Ghost more. He had to make a decision. So I get that point. The reason why he cried and still wore her necklace for like years because he loved Holly, but he loved Ghost more. So I get that. And I believe Lakeisha because he was still after Tasha about Lakeisha just on last season of Power, but still. But
you know what's interesting about that scene?
What?
That I thought was going to play a part and it didn't. Maria gave Tommy a necklace, and I thought at some point in this episode, Miguel was going to see that necklace and kind of put two and two together that they were together.
I thought that was his necklace that she gave him.
No, I thought that was her necklace.
I think it was her necklace.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was probably like one of them Catholic saints or something.
It was a cross, but I thought it was his, but maybe it was hers. Okay. I got you. All right. Yeah, it didn't play a part. Well, yeah, it didn't play a part yet and stuff like that. But we get Mirkovich, and he pulling up at the house. Well, okay, Claudia using the house now, the big house, the big chair, Vic, Walter old chair, stuff like that. Invite Vic to come through. She got all her girls there, Shanti and Elise, stuff like that. Basically, she's like she a big dog now, Claudia. And she like, yo, where's the meat? We got the money. We ready. Set it up. Mirkovich kind of like, okay, like he's surprised, how things going on. Steph, how you felt about that meat right there?
I mean, I really didn't think anything of that scene. It was necessary to show just because we needed to see the meeting between them. But yeah,
I think the scene plays a part later on.
Oh yeah.
Because not because of the meat. I feel like what they do a lot on Power is I feel like they try to show you in a certain light and then switch it. So they show Claudia finally getting all the power that she wants to, sitting in Walter's big chair, and being in charge of these girls and calling a meeting, and then in one fell swoop losing everything and winding up in jail and stuff like that. So that's what I felt from after we seen later on. But
Walter was probably rolling in his grave when he saw her sitting there with all these females.
Yeah.
So I didn't think about it like that, but you're right.
Yeah.
That's
like, what are these
right
bees doing in my house?
Because remember, who did she tell? She said something to somebody was like, Dad only allowed family and close business partners or something like that.
I think to Elise, to her girlfriend. Yeah.
Right. In the house.
Yeah.
But to both your points, like I said, now we see her yielding the sword, yielding the power that she always longed for, just for it to be swiped out of her within the same episode.
Yeah, that's what I really thought they did. Like, let her have that glory, or show us you got that glory, take it all away. So it's like crazy. Now we see D-Mac. You know, he executed his plan. He killed the kid. Now he gonna tell Diamond, I did it. Hopefully, Diamond will be back at CBI. Diamond like, what the hell did you do? Like, he like, you know, you got. I'm about to call Tommy. He's like, you know, you don't know what you done did because that's King Kilo nephew. Blah blah blah. D-Mac thought it might help, but it didn't. So, excuse me. And then he run off. So, Michelle, how you felt about that scene, man?
I loved it. Let's start off with that. I loved it in the sense that it really showed just how stupid and careless D-Mac is. Okay, he's not consulting the OGs, the old heads on moves that he's making. Now, granted, we've already saw that he was trying to do this to get back into Diamond and Tommy's good graces to get back in CBI, but ultimately he made an unsanctioned kill without knowing that that kid was a nephew of one of the leaders of their coalition, the RDs. So it's like you did all that for what? You made matters worse, not better, trying to think you're getting revenge for me, where you made our situation a lot more complicated than it needed to be.
Steph?
And I honestly think
go ahead. I'm sorry.
if D-Mac was not Tommy's nephew, Diamond probably would have took him out right there.
How you feeling about that, Steph?
You know how we used to say back in the day, in the 80s, 90s, he all in the sauce trying to catch up. That's what how I feel about him. Like he's trying to get back in there, but why can't he just be okay with just being Tommy's nephew? You don't have to be in the game. You don't. You can still get money. Tommy's going to look out for him. But I don't think he understands that because he doesn't really know what it is to really have a family that actually cares about him. And Tommy wants a family so bad that he would take care of D-Mac, but he just doesn't know it. I don't think he trusts that yet because he's never had that before. But I think if he would just listen, he would be unstoppable. And he's so smart to the point where Tommy would definitely steer him in the right way. But yeah, he's just being stubborn. That's another one where I wish like Diamond had to just like hit him with the gun real quick or something. Like beating him, took his belt off or something. Like he was just getting on my nerves this whole show. So
now Diamond has said to D-Mac, you know, you don't know what you did. You killed somebody, that unsanctioned kill. It was King Kilo nephew, blah, blah, blah. But we saw Diamond tell Jannard, nah, he still got to go earlier this episode. So you think Diamond was more upset that he didn't kill him? Or, you know, I know he was upset that D-Mac did it, but Diamond was going to do it anyway. So I was kind of confused about that a little bit. Like, how y'all thought about that?
Because D-Mac, even though he's not in CBI right now, he's affiliated with it.
Right.
I think Diamond was going to move towards somebody who was not affiliated with CBI. It looks like there's no connection. Because King Kilo is over the RDs, which is a major player in the coalition. So he wanted no strings attached. Even though he wanted the little motherfucker to go, he didn't want no connection to CBI. D-Mac, even though he's a denounced player, he still has that connection because of Tommy.
Got you. So you feel like, okay, get it. So Diamond would have had somebody else do it, not affiliated. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, got you.
And I think that's why he put Jannard on it initially before. Right. I think he put Jannard on it to finally like put the pieces into play to get it done. But ultimately,
yeah, D-Mac did it. Another scene we had with Claudia in her glory was her rolling up on Tommy at his spot. She got two full SUVs full of people. Yeah, bold, walks up Tommy and said you should have killed him when you had the chance. You ain't gonna never have a chance again. Stuff like that. And now I'm ahead of this and I'm ahead of that. And Tommy is sitting there saying, you know, you only gotta be lucky once. Stuff like that. So Michelle, how you felt about the same Claudia roll up on Tommy there?
Claudia's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all ever look at how she talks in certain scenes?
Mm-hmm.
So when she's all about business, she perks her lips, and her voice becomes very powerful and seducing at the same
It
time.
does. It does. It does. Yeah, it
You
is.
don't
Yeah.
know.
You're
I
right.
can't. I can't really do it, but it's so annoying. It's
I'm sure
so
you can.
annoying.
I'm sure you
But
can. Go ahead.
she wanted to show a level of force. She's thinking now she's untouchable. So that's all that scene was to me. And like you said, luckily I'm Irish, but we see at the end of the episode, is she lucky? Sure.
Steph, how you felt about that one? I heard one of all time either.
Yeah, she was bold with that one. But I liked that the fact that Shanti said, what did she say? She said,
Oh,
I
Queen.
know no. Well, oh, it's Queen now? Or is it
Yeah.
Shanti?
No, no, that's
Oh,
what she
Queen.
said to him. She said, no, that's what she said to Tommy.
No. She said, I know a good one when I see him or something.
I know a
Yeah.
queen
Oh,
when I see one.
no, she said, I know a winner when I see one.
A winner, yes. I know a winner
Yeah.
when I see one. So I just thought it was interesting, especially how it was used later
Later
on.
on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, like she really thought she was doing something. Which I mean, if I was in her shoes, she really was doing. She was making some really good moves. Claudia is not dumb, and
No.
Vic was right when she said, "You're smarter than me. You make better moves than me." She is. She out of the two of them, Vic and Claudia, she is the smarter businesswoman.
Hmm.
So she's right. She's making moves that are very smart, but I think Tommy, because of how smart he's becoming, and because of the things that he kind of knows, yeah, he's always like a couple steps ahead of her.
Well, we get the two brothers once again. They walk in, and Diamond giving Jannar more information this time and stuff like that. But also Jannar telling him about like the streets know that D Mac did it, and King Kilo not happy. So they decide to have Jannar go into the prison to talk to King Kilo about it, to set the to let them know, like, we'll give you D Mac dead or alive on a platter once you get out, but we don't want to mess with this coalition. And just fast forward, Jannar does do it, and King Kilo agrees. So, we got Diamond putting Jannar on errands, and Jannar taking care of it. So the relationship growing a bit closer. But Steph, how you felt about them two talking and giving more information to Jannar, and then Jannar going to this prison and talking to King Kilo about that?
I just wish he wouldn't tell his brother all of this information. Um, I I feel like that's gonna be something that's gonna backfire on him. I mean, I know that's his brother. He loves him. He's the older brother too, so he wants to restore their bond. But I just wish he hadn't told him that. And I liked at the end when they were talking about his car, because I had forgotten that his
Yeah,
car
yeah.
got stolen by the Serbs, and he was
About
like, "This is a
Serbs.
classic automobile." A classic one.
He was like,
So
damn,
yeah, I
bro.
just wish he would have just kept his mouth shut.
Okay,
This
how you
you?
felt about Jannar and King Kilo conversation? I just want to add that into it, stuff like that. In
Oh,
jail.
I thought that was a smart move. I don't know if does he actually believe him? Like, cause he said he was getting out of jail soon. King Kilo, he was getting out of jail soon. So does he actually believe that it didn't have anything to do with CBI? Like, I don't,
Well,
I
Jannar
don't know
said
how this could work out. And I
the
feel like the
streets
fact that
saw
they
D
did,
Mac. The streets saw D Mac do it. They can all, tell us that the story is real. So I don't know. So are you saying that? Do you believe that D Mac not with CBI? You
yeah,
saying?
but I'm sorry,
Are you asking?
I
Are you
can't hear
saying
you.
do? Are you saying does D Mac? I'm sorry. Does King Kilo not believe that D Mac is not with CBI? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like just because he came and said something to him doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. He's trying to keep their coalition together. So I don't know. I feel like he's going to get out of jail and then go start a whole bunch of drama, and that's gonna be next season. It's gonna be that drama between them now. So I don't know if he necessarily really believes what he's saying.
I'm gonna get back to the question
But
later.
I mean, I could
Michelle,
be wrong.
Michelle, how you felt about Diamond and Jannard, and then Jannard going to talk to King Kilo?
So Diamond and Jannar is just what it is. Jannar is trying to get back on the top, right?
Right.
The question that particular clip left for me is, you are willing to hand over the nephew of your partner to be killed in exchange for the death of your enemy's nephew. Because at the end of the day, before this coalition, they were enemies.
Yeah.
Tommy brought this coalition together. Okay? And like I say, King Kilo is the leader of the RDs. He just happens to be incarcerated. So once Tommy finds out, again, questionable loyalty. Because D-Mac he's going to make his own bed, right? Is Tommy going to be understanding of that? Or is he going to want to protect his nephew?
That was my question to Steph, too, next. How you feel like Tommy going to feel when he find out that the Diamond is handing over D-Mac to King Kilo?
I think that's when Kate is going to take D-Mac to New York.
Go to New York.
To get him out.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to put the two things together. I'm trying to put them together.
But that still doesn't solve the problem, though. The problem is it needs to be eye for an eye, blood for a blood. So if D-Mac was to escape, what really is going to solve the problem of that kid's murder? Because I don't think King Kilo is going to be like, oh, a little innocent kid got killed because of my nephew. I'm going to excuse this one. Nah. He sees a former member of CBI as committing a murder against his nephew. He's going to want revenge. Like you said, Steph, does he believe that Jannar is going to hand him over on a silver platter once he's out? He said you got a deal, but is that really what's going to happen in season 3? I'm anxious to see if that's going to play out.
I mean, that's what he kind of happens. Yeah.
I think they're going to want to hand him over, but Tommy not going to let him. And King Kilo going to be pressing Jannar and Diamond about the deal they made in jail and stuff like that. And ultimately, you'll see more dissension, which I predicted last week with Stephanie about Diamond and Tommy. That we see coming more and more and more every episode, stuff like that. So, but
you like to say that, but you're right. You want people to know.
It is what it is. I'm just saying.
I mean, honestly, I gotta agree on that one. Because we've already saw in this episode where Tommy was really making a bulk of the power plays, right? And Diamond was like, "Oh, okay, we'll do it, sure." It was really Tommy calling the shots this entire season. But now, in order to maintain the coalition, with the RDs being one of the biggest players, he wanted to turn up and offer D-Mac on the silver plate. Is Tommy going to allow that?
We're going to see in season 3.
D-Mac just wants to die. He wants to die. Period.
I hope he do.
Sorry, bye,
D-Mac. I want him off the show. Especially since he called his dad when he called him.
We'll get to that too. So before we get back to D-Mac, we get to Tommy has got, again, he got Vic up in the crib, but this time he knows Vic is the snitch, stuff like that. And he's feeding Vic information knowing that Stacy is probably listening, stuff like that. So they give him this address. Stacy writes it down and whatever. And, she's ready to go. Set up the raid, set it up, we got him, blah, blah, blah. Her husband like, hold on. That don't sound right. That's not how Tommy moves since he's been here. And she's saying, we ain't waiting. We doing it regardless because she in charge. So, how you felt about that, Steph, Tommy, and, giving him information through Vic, and then Steph and her ultimate decision there. Not Steph, sorry, Stacy. Her ultimate decision.
Yeah. I mean, I could be on the show though if you want me to.
Hope you act like Stacy though.
Oh no. I mean, I hate to keep saying the same thing about Stacey, but her character just don't know how to listen.
Yeah.
So she thinks she knows everything. So I mean, another scene where her husband was right. Her husband should have been the person that she should have listened to. Um, but
And
yeah,
Tommy see the information.
she's trying to, yeah. Oh, and I didn't put two and two together at first. I had to watch it a couple times before I realized that Tommy was working with Shanti to try to set Merkovich and Claudia up. Like for some reason, I didn't put two and two together. I'm like, well, how did they get there? But I'm like, oh,
Right.
that was Shanti.
She gave the address. Right.
Yeah, she gave her the address. The
Right.
second time that I watched it, that's when I realized that
Okay.
that's how he got the address.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
that was on point. I liked it.
Okay. Shell.
No, I agree. I agree. I like that clip. Stacy again, one track minded. And her husband, time and time and time again, keeps telling her we need more intel. It doesn't seem right that they played on this side of town all this time, and now all of a sudden they going over there. Okay, all right. So Tommy gave him something, he just didn't give them him.
It feel like her husband should be the leader of the unit.
That's what I was going to say too. They should
Yeah.
switch.
Right. It's just give you a point a little bit. But you
Maybe
brought
a
some.
lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. You're right. You're right. You brought us up earlier, Michelle. So D-Mac comes back to the crib. He's storming in, gathering clothes, said that he leaving. He cursing out Kate. He cursing out his dad. He's saying, you wasn't ever there for me. I don't need you. Kate, he's saying, like, I don't know you, lady. Like, leave me alone. And then when his dad tried to, say, where you going? He grabbed his hand, said, get off me. Call him a slur, we'll call it, stuff like that on the show. And also pull a gun on him, on JP, and stuff like that. And then that leads to ultimately Kate doing drugs. We get to that later on. But Michelle, you felt about that D-Mac at the house scene, stuff like that.
It was inevitable.
Yeah.
You have, again, Tommy and Kate, as crazy and toxic as they are.
What the hell?
What's that?
Oh, happy
What the hell?
Those
I don't know
iPhone
what
features.
that was.
Those iPhone features.
Oh, wow.
But let's say Kate and Tommy are like this, right?
Right.
And but the newfound players are JP and D-Mac. They found each other last season. They
Right.
found Kate towards the end of last season, early part this season, and Tommy. So even though the three adults, Kate, Tommy, and JP, know the betterment for D-Mac, prior to them coming to his life, that's all he knew was the streets.
Yeah.
So he sees them as enemy. Enemies is a strong word, but counter and against what his whole entire livelihood has been, which is street survival. So he's like, you know what? I don't know you. I don't know you. Fuck you. You ain't been here this whole time. I'm going back to what I know. And that's exactly the decision that he made.
Steph, your thoughts on D-Mac and the house
That's
scene?
what to say after what Michelle said. She
Yeah.
said anything. The only thing that I will add is I'm very animated when I watch the show because I love the show that much.
Really?
So
Okay.
I literally, when he called his dad the F word, I was
Yeah.
like, what? Everything like so he just reminds me so much of Tariq when nobody liked Tariq when everybody wanted to beat him. But yeah, this was just out of pocket. I mean, it's just completely just unnecessary. But he doesn't know. He's young, just like Michelle said. He's young. He doesn't understand that they're really trying to look out for him. Because he's never had a family before. That's exactly what he said. His family is the streets. So he's never had a family that actually cares about him. And it's a shame that he's missing out on this opportunity because Tommy really is loyal to his family. You see how he stays with Kate, even though Kate messed his life up, and made like crazy decisions, but he still loves his mom, and he chooses his mom over everybody. So
Or
he
does
messes
he?
himself up. Well, he chooses his mom over females, but I think if him and Maria stay together, then I think that Maria is going to be the one that finally is his choice above his mother. So in
I'm gonna take
love, he
it.
chooses his mother.
I'm gonna take it a step further because at the end of the day, every drug dealer knows the outcome of you overusing their product, right? He
Okay.
gave her a test pack, like you said. Take this
Mm-hmm.
test pack, get out my face.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that if she got stressed out enough, she was going to use it, and she did, and she ended up where she ended up with. I mean, ended up where she ended up at. So,
Mm-hmm.
in that sense, is that love? Because you essentially gave your mom the gun to kill herself.
I think it's love the way that their relationship is, because their relationship is so that Tommy needs to control his mother in order to for her to actually
For her
kind
to
of
function in her life.
yeah. So that's the only way that Tommy knows how to actually have a relationship with his mother is dysfunction. So he has to control her at some point because he doesn't feel like Kate can do it on her own. She needs Tommy, and that those drugs are needing him. And at the end of the day, Tommy needs to be loved. That's what
Hmm.
Tommy since day one of Power. He wants to be loved. He wants to have a family. That's why he clung so hard to Ghost and his family. So that's the only way that she can stay needing him. And I think that's why he tries to control her.
I don't. Well, I agree with a lot of that, but see,
Hmm.
I think also that like just like I said, JP um don't only know this part of Kate. He don't know a lot of the Kate that Tommy grew up with.
Hmm.
Tommy is not really accepting the sober Kate because he only knew this drug addict Kate. Whereas
Hmm.
JP has seen her go through these 12 steps and whatnot, and he's accepted and wanting that. And I feel like that Tommy feels like the needing part, like you said before, but also that he feels like that's the only thing that'll make her happy is drugs because that's what made her happy for years. But
Hmm.
now she's found, just like Tommy wanted family, she's found her long lost son and now a grandchild. So she found a reason to get sober that Tommy still can't accept, for some reason. Maybe because, like I said, because it's all he knew. So ultimately,
Yeah.
but since we're on that part, might as well go into it. But ultimately, we see that JP kind of says like, "Yo," and what I'm saying, I think is JP saying like, "You can't accept our mother's trying to clean herself. You keep giving her drugs. You're ultimately not good for her. So I'd rather you stay out of our life." On top of the fact that, I feel like you're the reason me and my son this way. So, since we're on that part, might as well get into it. How did y'all feel about that whole JP, Tommy, Kate situation, at the end there and stuff? So,
I
anybody,
feel like he
Stephanie?
had a lot of nerve
JP
to
or
come
Tommy?
JP.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry. Like at the end of the day, this woman did not raise you.
Right.
And she ultimately is closer to Tommy. Tommy and her have a closer relationship.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel like how dare you tell me I can't be around my mother? So I felt like that was too far. He was taking it way too far. Like he's
Hmm.
allowed to mess up. And I think that if he really understood the dynamics of their relationship, he would understand why Tommy, at that point when she was overdosing, why he just
Hmm.
froze. I think that was a normal reaction. I think, at least for the relationship that he has with his mom, like you saw, he had to tear. So he just didn't know what to do. He had no idea what to do. So to kind of hold that over his head and not kind of give him some grace, I felt like that was a little too far. So I hope that he kind of doesn't really mean that and that he kind of reels it back in. But I think he just went too far.
Michelle, your thoughts?
So this may sound crazy, right? when they panned to Tommy's face and he was watching her OD and he wasn't moving and JP came down the steps, in my mind it flashed back to when Tommy was killing Holly. Okay? It was just something about the look on Tommy's face was like, finally, 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 finally. And it's almost as if in my mind he didn't want her to die, but he also sensed a level of freedom
Mhm.
from her being gone, you know, because I do think that his mother does play a tormenting role in his life. You know, she's his mom. There's no doubt that he loves her, but he also knows that their relationship is toxic too.
Mhm.
JP and D Mac are the new players in this family. So, to that extent, JP is looking at it in the now. Tommy is looking at it in the then.
Right.
When I grew up in New York with this broad, you have her this season. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? This season in this moment. So there's a level of misunderstanding and unknowing that JP has for Tommy and Kate's dynamic. JP has always longed for his relationship with his long lost mother, and then at the same time, he connected with his long lost son. So there's a lot of moving and new relationships in this at the same time, all while trying to manage the dysfunction between Tommy and Kate at the same time.
Okay. Well, real quick, do you feel like
That's that Hennessy talking, y'all.
do you feel like JP overstepped, like Stephanie said, by shutting Tommy out in the hospital?
It's a twofold. It's a twofold because, and honestly, thinking back to that scene, right? It confused me because I'm like, damn, Tommy, you was just sitting there ready to watch her die, and now you in the ER trying to call Mariah, like, just call me because my mom's in here and she might not make it.
Right.
I
Right.
was like, did you want her to die or not? Like, it confused me for a second. But to that point, I think, like what Steph said, Tommy has lived with Kate all his life, and their relationship is based on dysfunction and him living through her calmness, which is intoxication, right? So, or being intoxicated. JP doesn't know that because in the moment that he met her, she was working through the 12-step program, trying to make a
Mhm.
connection with her long lost son and her long lost grandson. So he sees the betterment or the future that she could have. Tommy's looking at, yeah, nah, So I wouldn't go to the extent to say that he was wrong, but he's stepping, in my mind, he's stepping in from a sense of protection from Tommy.
Okay. I hear you on that. Next we got Tommy, and he's leaving, telling Vicky about to pick him up. But we got Miguel, the same guy, who said they should kill him, trying to kill Tommy. Shoots up the Mustang again, gets shot up, and ultimately Tommy's alive and says send Miguel a message, and then he kills the guy. So where I'm surprised at is that Miguel sent this one guy by himself to kill Tommy, in my opinion. But the guy does want him to get dead. But Steph, how you felt about that? The attempted assassination of Tommy by Miguel's henchman.
I thought it was hilarious.
Me
I thought that
too.
whole scene was hilarious. I was dying. So, the fact that he like really thought that he got him, the fact that Tommy was sitting there playing dead,
Mm-hmm.
honking the horn with his forehead, like that whole scene was hilarious to me. And then he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and give him this message. Go ahead and give Miguel this message." And then he gonna shoot him in the back as he going. He said, "Tell my never mind. I tell her myself." Like Tommy's stupid.
Yeah.
Tommy is stupid. I laughed at that whole scene. I
Me
knew
too.
that was, yeah, I knew it was phony. I knew it was funny. I don't understand how he didn't know that was phony because I wouldn't come up to Tommy like that.
I did too. I knew it was funny. Yeah. Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Any
It
thoughts
was
on that scene,
hilarious.
Michelle?
It was dumb to me because y'all pulled out the whole coalition to take out the Serbs.
Right.
But y'all said
One
one
person.
whack ass henchman
Yeah.
to kill Tommy. Just one. Just one.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of crazy to me.
But I
But
don't
and
know.
now both of them missed. Both of them missed. When
Yep.
he sent
Right.
out the whole crew he missed, and now the one just missed too. Like, question your shooter. Take your shooters to the gun range. Get it together.
Right.
Yeah, for real.
So,
go ahead, Michelle.
Oh, Michelle wasn't finished. I'm sorry.
oh, there you go, baby. Go ahead, Mike. I lost my whole train of thought.
It's all good. It's all good. So we see your girl Stacy. She really, really hyped about this raid that's about to take place. They send the whole squad up in there. Turn out though, the husband sees it is not Tommy, but it is Claudia Flint. It is Mirkovich, and it is the cartel. So the husband like, listen, we're going after them, and they're here right now. Stacy's still mad, like, where the F is Tommy at? Right? Even though they're taking him out, they lose another one of their men going after them, but they ultimately do get Mirkovich and Claudia, and let Claudia know we got you on tape, saying that you killed your dad, tried to take out your brother. They take out a major cartel. They get Claudia Flint and Mirkovich, but Stacy is not happy at all. So, Michelle, how you felt about this whole raid? How the whole thing went down?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it because at that point you see the brilliance of Tommy, right? He gives them something, just not exactly what they're looking for.
Right.
Now, in the husband's viewpoint, all right, we don't have Tommy, but we have major key players.
Yeah.
We have the Flynn chick, which is Claudia. We have Mirkovich, who's the leader of the Russians, Serbians. So, they're not the top, but they're mid-level players. We have them. We arrested them. We're taking them. Cool. Stacy, again, one-track minded. She wants Tommy fucking Egan, and she's seeing this as an unaccomplished mission. On top of, again, another officer, for lack of better words, is down now, killed. So, going back to the last episode where she tried to say that it was her husband's fault for one of their players getting killed, it's her. It's really her not taking the opportunity to get all the intel to make the right moves. So should she be the leader of this task force? Absolutely not anymore. And if the DOJ is really looking at that, they will remove her. But at the same time, she's produced something just in her mind, not enough.
Yeah, how you feel about the raid scene stuff and how the whole thing went down?
Yeah. Just like what Michelle said, she just isn't listening. I really feel like her husband should be the leader of that whole task force. And they would be much farther along. But I don't understand why she wasn't happy with what they got. I mean, it wasn't the goal. I got that, but it's still, just like Michelle says, it still was a mid-level player. You took out a whole cartel, basically. So why aren't you happy with that? But yeah, she was funny too. When she got the little black woman clap, when she was arguing with the dude, she was like, "That's not enough." I was like, they ain't ready for that. They wasn't ready for the black woman clap. So, but then they shut up after that. After she did that, there was no more argument. But yeah, she's stupid, and I think she is going to lose her job. And I think you know what? What I just thought about is she's going to be just like what's his name? The police Sax. She is going to be the Sax of this series because I feel like she's going to get fired. She's going to lose her job, and she's still going to try to come after Tommy. She's going to be just like Sax.
Honestly, I don't like her enough to want to tolerate her as much as I tolerated Sax. Like, I would love to see her written off or die or something. Like,
I don't want to see her die.
I don't think she lasts past season 2, and I think, in my opinion, and I think we saw the seeds already planted after the husband got back and was like, "Yo, we got a major bust. Like, why are you upset?" And she's still whatever. And he like, "You're gonna be a great politician or whatever." I think her husband gonna wind up taking her down and taking her spot in a way. I think he's gonna get fed up with the whole thing. So I don't think she lasts past season. Not killing her. I want to say killing her, but taking her down like legally as far as like some of the shady stuff she do. stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
because I mean, honestly, if they were to evolve her character like they did Sax, where she starts, doing her own plays, I that to me would be an unnecessary character.
I can't see that because she got a husband. Sax was single, so I think whatever she doing,
But he was
her,
boning Jenny though.
in book 2 he was, but not in book 1 he wasn't. Though. Like that. But I feel like that whatever she doing, ultimately he gonna be tied to it, which I think is why he gonna like I can't be, he's like a goody two shoes basically. So I feel like that ultimately he gonna be like, I can't be involved with you keep doing this shady stuff. I feel like, I mean, you're a husband and everything, but I feel like he would take her down. I'm sorry. So, in my opinion.
Well, he already said he would, so you might be right.
But that's true. That's definitely true. Um, we got
She'll
to
be her
the
own demise.
yeah, definitely. But meanwhile though, Vic was in the car with Tommy, not answering the phone, so what happened there, but we'll get to that a little later on. After Tommy, after Claudia and Milkovich do get arrested, they're celebrating back at the bar. JP's old bar now, but JP's bar, and they got Che in there and tell him, "Well, we did that. We took them down. They want to be bigger players." So JP says, "Okay, y'all gonna have the serve what the Serbs had, and then I'll keep on Miguel. So y'all be even. You, Miguel, and them, Tommy and Diamond, and then Miguel. But can't be no fighting, no killing. Y'all gotta play nice." But Tommy says he's okay with it at the time. Tells Jannard to get Mirkovich a drink. Che a drink, which he didn't like, stuff like that. And then they kind of like keep celebrating with Che. So I guess how you felt about what Che decided there, Stephanie, and them celebrating that whole thing.
This is another scene where I'm gonna have to sit down with the writers because I don't understand. Mostly all of Miguel's work was coming from Tommy and Diamond. So
Right.
who does he have left now?
That's
Like who else does he sell to? It didn't seem like he had any other crews.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's
that
true.
doesn't make any sense to me because all of his stuff was coming from them.
Yeah.
So how's he going to get money? I don't get it. So yeah, that's another one where I'm like, that don't make sense.
What I didn't like real quick is that was that Che was in the whole group of CBI by itself, and I'm like, that's kind of weird to me that he don't have none of his guys with him at all either. I kind of thought that was a little weird to me as well. But I mean, maybe he's that big, he can like never gonna mess with him. But I'm like, that's still like I don't usually see like powerful drug people walking around by themselves, especially into another meeting with a whole other group like that. So, but Michelle, how you felt about the scene there with Che and Jannard and Diamond? Tommy and Diamond and them. Making it to that spot where they're kind of even with Miguel now.
I didn't had nothing to think about it until Stephanie just made that point.
Yeah.
So now they're equals.
Yeah.
So who does he have to sell to? That gives him even more reason to kill Tommy Egan.
Tommy Effin Egan, don't forget.
Tommy Effin Egan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He just messed up his whole business, but he worried about Maria. I don't understand.
Well, we get to see them meet up with Che, tell him to shake hands, stuff like that, and Tommy does basically let him know that he killed his boy and stuff, and then Miguel's like, okay, for now I'll be good, but he still want to take out Tommy regardless. And just to kind of fast forward, speaking of Maria, we see that towards the end, Tommy trying to reach Maria for a long time. Finally, she calls him, but it ain't him. It's Miguel, burning the Barcelona tickets and saying that you'll never see her again. But remember, we got to play nice, just like Chase said. So, Michelle, how you felt about that? How that went down?
So you gotta look at how it went down, right? Ultimately, Shanti and Jannard gave up the intel.
Right. They gave
Right?
him the picture. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They gave him the picture. So I think that's going to be the one thing that's going to break Tommy. He liked Holly. He loved Keisha. He's in love with Maria. Okay? And not to say that his relationship with her is blinded, but at the same time, he saw throughout the migration of throughout the evolution of their relationship through this season, she chose him ultimately over her brother. So I think we're going to see Tommy on a strong revenge path next season to get her back.
But how can he
Question
do
is,
it?
where is
Yeah.
he?
How can he do
How,
it?
how can he do it when Chase got to play nice? Stuff like that. So that's the question for me, really. Actually.
Right. So if he, yeah.
We'll see next season, I guess. But Steph, how you felt about the whole thing, how it went down when Rhea being missing now?
This is another reason why I didn't like this show, this episode. I hated it. How you gonna get a dead man to go to Barcelona? Because I mean, although Tommy is alive, he's really dead. So
Right.
he need passports, visas, something.
Yeah.
How? How are you going to get a dead man to go to Barcelona? Help me figure that out. I mean, I've been overseas a couple times, and they scan your passport. So how? All right. So I didn't understand that. I don't think that Miguel did anything to his sister. I think he just got her in the cut somewhere. Because who else he gonna get to give him his little shots?
Yeah, I believe they're dead now. You're right. Yeah.
So she's still alive. She just in the cut somewhere. So yeah, Abuela is dead, just like you said. So who else gonna do it? Because he obviously don't take care of himself. All right. So, what else was I gonna say? That didn't make sense. I think that's all I was gonna say.
I think to me, the fact that Jannar and Shanti gave up the photo in the season finale was a bit rushed. I don't think I would want to have seen what that would have played out to until next season.
They did pack a lot in the episode without also not closing up the stories at the same time. It's kind of weird. I agree with that as well.
Yeah.
And they also said
it almost felt like this was not the season finale. It felt like we needed at least 2 more episodes to this season. And then maybe they wouldn't have felt so rushed with this episode, because I was very disappointed. Like it just didn't seem like everything was making sense. They needed a little more time.
Yeah.
For me, I felt like the drama of it all, the intense music, felt more powerful and suspenseful than all the other episodes. But I feel like they took all of the storylines and funneled them down and then went nowhere with them.
Yeah, that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
So we got to talk about the fact that Claudia does call Shanti to get help from jail, and Shanti says, "I told you I'd go with a winner." Like you said earlier, Steph. And Tommy's there and says, "Hey, Claudia," and I told you I'd get you back for Liliana and stuff like that. And for she winds up getting stabbed and in the cell, dropping to the floor. So, what y'all thoughts about that Claudia, I guess, winding up, like that in jail and getting stabbed? Any thoughts on that, Michelle?
Yeah. She's alive.
I don't think she is either. Yeah.
No, she's alive.
She's alive, which, again, another funneled down storyline that went nowhere. I wish we would at least saw her die. Like her throat slit or something, but the fact that she got stabbed in the back and then she's, moaning on the phone, that left nothing for me. I was like, oh, she about to die, yes. Oh, she's not dead.
I didn't think
the episode's over. Okay.
I just didn't think that they were going to take out all of the Flynns in one episode. So after it looked as though Vic wasn't dying, I knew that they weren't going to do that to Claudia either. I think what Tommy wants to do is kind of torture the both of them. I don't know why he wants to do this, because it just don't make sense. Just get it over with.
I don't think so. I don't agree. I mean, I agree about Vic, but I think that he thought Claudia was going to die. Like, the girl stabbed her several times. Like, and they ain't nobody. I mean, you might not have a guard come help you out. You might bleed out. Tommy don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't think he thought that. But what I do think, though, is that she is alive, like you said, and I think she will get out. I think her girlfriend, who got all the money, going to help her get out of the jail. Probably get a good lawyer and stuff like that. And I think that ultimately Tommy is the one that's going to kill her. I think the writers are saying that, like, yeah, this is a setback, but we want Tommy to be the one to kill her because she killed Liliana. So I think she will die next season by Tommy's hands. So I don't really know why they did this like they did now, but I do think she'll get out by her girlfriend. So.
And then why wasn't her first call to her girlfriend? Why was her first call
to Shanti? Yeah, you're right.
Either.
I agree with that too. Yeah, you're right. You got a couple good ones there. But speaking of calls, so we get Diamond and Tommy back at the bar celebrating about CBI and finally being with her at, and then Diamond of course saying, well, is Vic gone? Tommy telling him, no, I'm keeping him around. Diamond saying, what are you talking about? So we go to Vic in the warehouse with two of CBI members. Stacy calls him. First she say, Vic, I know you set it up, blah blah blah. Vic no, that wasn't me. This means Tommy know I'm a snitch. So finally Stacy says, oh my God, we gotta get you out of there. Stuff like that. So Tommy goes back and tells Diamond, no, I want to use him since he is FBI CI to kind of get more intel from the FBI. But that wasn't what they talked about. So Diamond finally snaps and says, listen, you make all these moves without me, and then you change the plans, all the plans we already have. I ain't really calling for this. Tommy says, well, look, if it wasn't for me, it wouldn't even be this way. So we see them kind of having this tension starting to build. So, Steph, how you felt about that whole thing with Vic and Diamond and Tommy right there?
That's what's going to be the issue in season 3. It's going to be a breakdown of their leadership. I think Diamond is trying his best to work well with Tommy. But I think Tommy's ego is kind of pushing him to kind of take over everything. And in that scene, Diamond says to him, it's not always about you. And I feel like that's something that Ghost has told Tommy several times as well. It's not always about you. But I think that's going to be the issue that happens next season. That's going to cause a lot of problems. And then I also feel like the King, whatever his name is,
Kilo.
The one that's Kilo. That's Kilo. I'm sorry, I can't get his name right.
That's all right.
I think that's also going to be an issue as well. But it's just Tommy is kind of getting a little egotistical at this point. So.
Michelle, and the Vic of it all, being in the warehouse and what do you think might happen?
I don't know I want to see the dynamic of that, and that was part of the reason why that was so disappointing to me, because we waited for this week to see what he was going to do with Vic, and now we gotta wait until next season, and who knows when that's going to happen. So that's why I was a little disappointed. I just don't know how he's going to use it. I can see how having Vic could be to their advantage, but I just don't know how the whole dynamic is going to work. I just can't fathom it at this point. So that's why it was kind of disappointing. I was very disappointed with that whole thing.
Michelle, how you feeling about the Vic, Tommy, and Diamond and that last scene there, the last couple scenes there?
So like I said earlier, Tommy has been calling a lot of the shots this season. And Tommy has never been put in the position that Diamond has, which is serving time. So Diamond is more protective of his future. Mm-hmm. Tommy's like, yeah, I know all that, but this is what we're going to do. And Diamond's like, okay. So I think at this point in the season, at the season finale, we see them starting to bump heads. Diamond's like, listen, you've been calling all the shots. I don't agree with this. You making irrational moves. And I think that's going to be the catapult for season 3. We're going to see that partnership descend from where it was in the beginning of season 1 to what it leveled out to in season 2, and ultimately their own demise in season 3. As far as Vic, remember, when they met on the rooftop, what did Tommy say to Vic? Sit tight and wait for my what? For my call. Exactly. So that was all a ploy from Tommy. Vic just wisened up at the end and said to Stacy, I think Tommy made me. So to that point, I'm glad. I'm glad that that moment happened for Stacy, so she could see just how irresponsible she was moving this entire
Uh,
fucking time.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
entire time. So
Mhm.
I
And
think
it's
we're
crazy
not even.
because she swore that Vic played her. He was like, "No, I gave you what you wanted." Like we talk about, they got me in the warehouse. I don't know what's going on. Like up to the last second, she swore she was right. Like she's so, like you said, one track minded.
Right, right. So the question
Mhm.
is like, who's gonna die first? That's. I'm gonna put money on it that Vic or Claudia is gonna be out by episode 2, season 3.
I don't think so. But we'll see what happens
I
though.
Yeah.
but the thing is, from a viewer
Uh,
perspective, is like, what are you holding on for? Y'all got rid of Victor Flint in what, episode 5 or 6?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Y'all y'all marked him off. Like, what are we waiting around here for?
I feel like if they was gonna kill Claudia or Vic that fast by episode 2 or 3, they would have killed them now. I feel they're gonna be around next season, at least through the season. Especially Claudia. I feel like Claudia gonna get out. I'm telling
But
you.
the thing is, they're no longer major players to me.
Why can't Claudia get out and be a major player? Why not? Why can't she be?
So she'll be starting all over again with what, her girlfriend, because she already Shanti's already revealed who she's been in bed with this whole time, which is Tommy. So she has nobody. She doesn't have Vic. She doesn't have Shanti. Who does she have? Her girlfriend who only has money?
that's all you need.
Claudia's
That's
smart though. You know.
Point taken, but she no longer even has the Stars
You
or the
know.
Markel.
Hold on. We ain't mentioned that part. Markovich ain't dead either. He got
He
locked
not, but
up.
he's just as incarcerated as she is.
But I think he'll get out too, though. I think he'll get out too, or at least make moves from jail. I feel like
I'm interested in a new big player.
they ain't killed one from this season yet. What are you talking about? You still got Miguel, Merkovich, and Claudia all still alive and well.
And then remember, her girlfriend, they still had the clubs. Like that her mother's
Yes,
owner
yes,
of the clubs.
yes.
So they still can come out and still make good money. They just now they got to get a new connect.
That's all.
But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I
It's
feel
gonna
like.
be King Kilo.
I don't think you get too
I'm
much.
sure it's gonna be Shanti.
I feel like the way this season ended is weird for Power a little bit though, but I feel like it's going to be a continuation of season 2 to season 3 because everybody's still alive. You know what I mean? And nothing got cleaned up. So I feel like that it's going to be like almost like a 2-season story this season rather than one. A little bit.
Okay.
Usually with Power, it's like a new point every season, but I don't know about this time. But it kind of did it with Power Book 2 as well because in this last season with Tariq, the chick she ain't died. What's her name?
His girlfriend.
The drug dealer lady. The new one with the accent. What the hell's her name?
I pick up her N.
Whatever her name is.
Sugar, okay.
Yeah,
But
she
I know
ain't
what
dead.
you're talking about though.
Yeah. So she'll be back next season. So they might be doing like long-term storytelling now for like a little bit more power than they did before. But anyway, the season is over. So like I said, we're back a couple seasons. I mean, even though with the last episode not being great, how'd you guys rate or enjoy this season? Let's say like 1 to 10. Stephanie, how would you say it?
This season, I would have given it like a 9 if this last episode wasn't as bad. But I think because this episode was so bad, I'm gonna have to give it probably like a 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
But the first season, I probably only gave like a 4. I think I was just so loyal to the show, to the whole Power universe that I continued to watch. But this second season has really changed my mind about this, about Force. So
I agree.
I give him a 7.5.
You know what I said last season? And Michelle tell you this. I said what Force was missing was a police presence. And unless I don't like Stacey, I think she adds the police presence to make them kind of have to evade police. Last season it was all just like Tommy versus the Flynn's. It was whack. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie to you, but
Yeah,
this season was a lot better.
But see, this season compared to last season, he needed to do the crime first. So he did all the crime, and then he got discovered. So now the police are after him.
But I feel like CBI and the Flynn's was moving without no police either last season. Everybody's moving drugs with no police around. It was like crazy last season to me.
That's like Kensington, Philadelphia. Everybody know what's happening, but what you gonna do about it?
How would you rate the season though?
Me, I give it a 7.85.
Okay.
It was definitely better than last season because season 1 is the build up. We're trying to establish a storyline. Season 2, we see a love story. We see the dynamic of the coalition. We see the building of Tommy and Diamond's partnership.
Mm-hmm.
We see the key player, which is Shay. We see the other key players, which is the police presence. So I think it's as far as storyline and resemblance to the original series, but a lot of, especially in this episode, those loose ends, for them to be as developed into the Power universe as they are now, you would think they had a better understanding and idea of what the viewers wanted and were looking for. So a lot of meat was left on the bones this episode and the later part of this season. That leaves me, of course, wanting to watch season 3, but it's like, damn, you really could have gave me something in this episode.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, we're gonna see. Also, last thing, Gennaro, I didn't mention that much, but he kind of had a whole transition too. He went from being regular to being like a crackhead, losing his car, selling his girl's chain, but now he's all the way back. He got his car back, he got his girl's chain back. He kind of cleaned up a little bit. So I feel like that once again, that the Diamond and Gennaro are gonna continue to get closer in my mind, and I do feel like Tommy gonna find out that it was Gennaro who gave him that picture and want to do something to Gennaro. I think Diamond gonna also stop him from that. Is one of my also theories for next season.
Oh, what if it's
Diamond? Repeat that. You said Diamond is going to what?
I think Diamond is going to. I think Tommy gonna find out Gennaro and Shanti is the one who gave Miguel the picture and want to kill Gennaro. Okay. He don't like Gennaro anyway, but I think Diamond, who getting close to his brother again, gonna tell Tommy, "Don't touch my brother." And I think that's going to be more dissension for them. That's one of my theories.
So here's my theory, right? Diamond to protect Gennaro from Tommy. Mm-hmm. Tommy to protect D-Mac from Diamond.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. A whole bunch of protection going on. I can't wait till next season now. Talking about this. So, well, thank you both for joining me every week. Thank you, Stephanie, once again for joining our show. Again, we'll see the first episode of Book 3 in a couple weeks, and we'll be back together. Hopefully, we'll have E on. Whether he'll be at the barbershop or Outback Steakhouse. I don't know where he's going to be at, but we're going to see what he going to do. But, Michelle and Steph, we'll see you guys next time. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be on Wednesday. I'm sure Steph will be there hating as she normally do in the comments, stuff like that. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. All right. Bye-bye. All right.